Hi, all. It's Jan of the Jan Files. Today is July 4th, so happy 4th if you're celebrating. I have mixed feelings about today, as I'm sure many of you do. I wrote a piece and posted on Substack, and I'm going to read it to you because I wanted to put something more thoughtful together than just kind of free flow of thoughts. Can Americans find our courage? Too many of us are looking to be comfortable in our outrage. The No Kings marches were massive, record-breaking protests. They allowed us to shout and denounce the Trump regime, but it didn't require much courage. They were safe, family-like events, and fewer people were arrested. And while they were necessary, they should have only been our first step. Defined by Merriam-Webster as mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, or withstand danger, fear, or difficulty, courage comes in many different forms, depending on several factors, but it always has an uncertainty of outcome. It means that there will usually be consequences. There is no one way to be courageous. It means that people do it differently. But what I am observing is that too many are looking for others to be brave. We applaud the likes of Major Jason Watson, an active duty Air Force officer who stood on the Capitol steps last week asking for Trump to be impeached. What will be his fate? We don't know. He could be court-martialed. He could lose his pension and income. There's a long road in front of him. Would you or I have risked that? When Charlie Kirk was murdered, we lamented the horror of physical violence, yet some had the courage to call out the unspeakable tragedy, even as they decried what he stood for in life. Some lost jobs. Some were kicked out of schools. Now they are being vindicated by reinstatement and compensation for their loss. I don't know if they expected that they would suffer the consequences of their right to freedom of speech being abridged. Could they have expected that? I think yes. Given the state of our nation, my answer would be yes. By then, we were already seeing the attacks on freedom of speech. We are celebrating America's 250th birthday, but it may be the last time we do so under democracy. On December 25th, 1776, General George Washington made the decision to cross the icy Delaware River in horrendous wintry conditions. They had just lost several battles in New York. Demoralized and low on supplies and ammunition, they forged ahead, losing men and horses and supplies along the way. But they made it. They crossed the river and were able to take advantage of the Hessians to win the Battle of Trenton and then the Battle of Princeton. Can we find that level of courage within ourselves now? Can we access the drive, the pride, and fortitude it took to truly stand up for freedom? Some Americans have made the choice to fight for our democracy, Major Watson among them. Yet I have to look to the employees of the FBI, the DOJ, and the CIA to break the silence on the Epstein files. Many know exactly what was happening. Some are career prosecutors. Some have been at their job for decades. Yet, nothing. A deafening silence as we come to understand that the powerful are assured that their accountability is only for those of us who can't afford to bribe, manipulate, and threaten our way into a false innocence. Let me repeat that. A deafening silence as we come to understand that the powerful are assured that accountability is only for those of us who can't afford to bribe, manipulate, and threaten our way into a false innocence. And then I am reminded of the people of Minnesota who showed a courage that still should be celebrated. They stood up and supported the most vulnerable among us. 2 people, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, were murdered by ICE. Protesters didn't give up. They didn't run in fear. They came back the next day stronger and more resolute. But it is not enough. Most of us are content to let others show up. We may send our prayers, money, or bitch on social media, none of which takes courage. I mean, notwithstanding the built-in ugliness of social media. But some of us go to local Some of us go to local protests or plan to be at every No Kings rally. Yet others are afraid to put signs up on their lawn. Yeah, I don't kid you about that. They are afraid to put signs up on their lawn for fear of their neighbors. We also owe a debt to those who have fought for America on the battlefields and on the streets. She is counting on us to endure, to fight, to revolt, to find our courage without violence. No King protests are not enough. We must push past our comfort zone, do and say things that heretofore made us unsure, scared, or debilitated by the vitriol of the MAGA. We must not let them define our future by their hate, ignorance, and lies. Do your homework. Speak the truth. Stand loudly. And recognize that we will not win unless we find our courage. Nothing else will save us. The midterms are coming, but do not for 1 second think that our votes or election is secure, given what Trump has pledged to do to stop the voting. Rest on nothing but your commitment to courage and defending our United States of America. Thank you.